This ABC15 flash briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. All roads lead to Sanderson Ford.
I'm Faye Fredericks with your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. Former Arizona Department of Corrections Director Charles Ryan pleading no contest to disorderly conduct involving weapons. Ryan, you'll remember, was accused in January of 2022 of firing a gun at his Tempe home and pointing it out the door toward police officers. Ryan agreed to the plea deal Tuesday morning, less than 1 week before he was set to go to trial on 2 felony counts. Attorneys in the case say Ryan had no recollection of what happened that night because he was drunk. The disorderly conduct charge could later be designated a low-level felony or a misdemeanor. Ryan's sentence could range from probation to 2 years in prison. Ryan retired from the Department of Corrections 2 years before the gun incident after an ABC15 investigation into prison cell doors that didn't lock. Developing Tuesday, federal investigators now joining the probe into the death of a Queen Creek teen, as authorities also announced what they call multiple persons of interest in this case. The FBI now seeking tips from the community to solve Preston Lord's murder. The 16-year-old was beaten in the street on October 28th and died from his injuries 2 days later. Look for much more on this ahead at 5 and 6. Staying in Phoenix, fire crews extinguishing a kitchen fire in a home today near 30th Avenue in Washington. But the smoke from the fire taking over that home. Crews pulling out 3 cats and 3 dogs, giving them oxygen once they were safely outside. We're happy to say all of the animals are expected to be fine. A man fighting for his life after an electrical box inside a Home Depot store explodes. That blast happening this morning around 10 at the store near 36th Street and Thomas in Phoenix. The man has severe burns to both his hands and face. He was rushed to the hospital where he remains in critical condition. Firefighters able to douse the flames before they ignited the entire building. Investigators are now looking into what caused the explosion. She stepped into the history books, and now students across the nation are stepping out in her honor. It's Ruby Bridges' National Walk to School Day. Noelani Graff showing how local schools are using this day to unite against racism.
The sidewalk's extra busy today as thousands of Valley students walked in solidarity with an icon, and they learned about how something seemingly so simple can have an impact on generations to come. Each school organizing differently, some meeting together to walk to school in larger groups. Others walked out as a class once school started and did a lap around their neighborhoods. They had shirts, they had flags, all celebrating Ruby Bridges, who was one of the first black students to integrate an elementary school in the South. Just 6 years old, an iconic photo as she's flanked by U.S. Marshals walking into a New Orleans elementary school over the cries of segregationists. So now each year there's a nationwide walk in her honor, celebrating school choice, aiming to inspire conversations about ending racism and bullying. Ariane Roberts is a teacher in Chandler and says they'll also carry the lesson into class about empathy and being a change maker.
Ruby Bridges was just a first grader and she made such a huge difference for the whole country. How can we, as whatever grade we're in, make a difference for our own community? But parents can make a difference also. So supporting them and encouraging them to stand up for what they believe in and supporting them in those areas that they're going to need adult help in and making a difference, especially moving forward. We don't want this to just be one day, we did it, we're done. But how can we make a difference throughout our lives every day?
While this is a one-day event, there is also hope that more families, if able, will be encouraged to continue walking to school because there are also other benefits physically, socially, and mentally.
A lot of our kids have a tendency to stay home, not want to get out, not want to play with their friends. But this is a way to meet other people. This is a way to get out, enjoy the weather, meet other people, and be a little more social.
And that's John Boyd, a pedestrian safety expert with Phoenix Children's, who reminds you if you do continue walking to school, to make sure you have the conversations with your kids about staying aware, wearing bright colors so you're visible, paying attention at all times, no roughhousing on the walk, and also his reminder for commuters, try to leave earlier on school days if you can before that morning school rush, and always pay attention to that slowdown in school zones. In Chandler, I'm Noelani Graff, ABC15 Arizona.
Tracking your forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Amber Sellens. We've got clouds moving in, a storm system on the way, but another warm day here in the valley tomorrow. 60s early on, 65 at 6 a.m., 81 at noon, and 87 around 4 p.m. here in Phoenix, about 10 degrees above normal. But as we head into tomorrow night, we could actually see some shower activity as early as about 8 or 9 p.m. That moisture streaming in from the southwest. You can see that chance for showers late tomorrow night into early Thursday morning. Scattered stuff through the overnight hours showers and into Thursday morning for areas out to the west as well. Then the core of the storm that we're tracking actually moves through Friday night into Saturday. So we'll see an increased chance for showers once again. Doesn't look very widespread, but we could see some rain here across parts of Arizona over the next few days. Here in the valley, we'll also see a nice drop in temperatures this weekend as that storm system comes through. Lower 80s Thursday and Friday and back into the 70s starting Saturday.